If you have a VIOFO dash camera, you're going to want to watch this video. This is a brand new app from VIOFO. It has been out for a few months now, but a lot of customers may not be aware of it. So this is the old original VIOFO app. May look very familiar to you. However, VIOFO has come out with a brand new app. And one of the big things about this app is it allows you to do firmware updates. So if you have a dash camera that has older firmware, you can download this app and you'll be able to do wireless firmware updates without having to take an SD card out and plugging it into your computer. So it's a lot more convenient. And so I want to kind of go over some of the changes and how to do a firmware update by utilizing this app. So we're going to start by opening it. And in order for us to pair directly to this VIOFO A229 Pro, I'm going to have to push and hold the Wi-Fi button here for 5 seconds.
Wi-Fi enabled.
So the Wi-Fi is now enabled. I'm going to connect to another device. And as you see on the menu here, it has all the different cameras. This is an A229 Pro, so I'm going to go and select the A229 Pro. And I'm going to connect to the Wi-Fi. So it's going to continue kind of circling here, and then sooner or later at the bottom of the screen it's going to say enter manually, which means it'll bring me to the Wi-Fi settings on my iPhone. So give it a second here, it's going to pop up, and there it is, 5G VIOFO. We're going to enter in the default password, 123456778. And there we go. We'll go back to the app and we should get a green check mark here. And right there it says new firmware detected. Would you like to download and update? Okay, yeah, let's get this updated. So now it says firmware download. It's downloading a new firmware directly onto the app. And this is going to take probably about a minute depending on your cellular network coverage. And now it's doing the firmware transfer. As you can see, the dash camera started beeping. Wait for the firmware to transfer completely. So now the dash camera is going to turn right off. Make sure that you have a constant power supply hooked up to this. If you're in your vehicle, make sure the ignition is on constantly. You do not want to turn your ignition off while you're in the middle of this process. So this typically takes about 1 minute. As you can see, the firmware is updating and it's got a percentage here on the A229 Pro. The same will be for an A329S, A229 Plus. Those are the ones that I'm very familiar with in terms of doing the wireless firmware update. So as you can see, the dash camera has completely reset. So select whatever language you want. So I'm going to select English, and then depending on what time zone you're in, pick it out. GMT -8 for where I'm located. Time and date setup, okay. And I'm going to select kilometers an hour because I'm in Canada. Obviously, if you're in the United States, you would want to select miles per hour. Okay, do I want to format the micro SD card? Yeah, let's format it. Clean it all out. Okay, so let's go and reconnect to the device again. And I'm going to push and hold the Wi-Fi button for 5 seconds again. That way we can connect directly to the dash camera and go over some settings. So I'm going to click Enter Dashcam. It's going to ask me to join.
Wi-Fi connected.
There we go. We got the green check mark, which now means that it is connected. Now, I just want to make a note on the software, on the firmware update. If for some reason it doesn't prompt you, you can go into Help and go into Software Version. And a lot of times the device firmware will prompt up in here. Because let's say you click Cancel once, you can go in here and it will have the device firmware option, and sometimes you can just click directly on that and it'll prompt and do the update. So now we're going to enter the dash camera. It's going to show you your preview. They did add grid lines in now, so if you're trying to like line it up with the front of your hood to kind of make sure that it's not overly crooked, this is kind of a good thing, especially for us that are technicians. It tries to help us to make sure that we have it, as straight as possible. This turns your microphone on or off.
Disabled. Voice recording enabled.
And then if you have like a rear or interior camera, if you hit this button here, it'll actually switch between rear and interior camera or different views on the screen. Now, if we go directly to settings, it's letting you know that as the recording will stop. Please confirm if you want to continue. You click OK. This is where you can select all your different video resolutions. As you can see, there's a couple different options on the screen. When you go to video bitrate, you can select from maximum to low. Typically, when we do most installations, we pick normal. That way, the file sizes are about half the size of maximum, and typically SD card longevity lasts a lot longer. But choice is yours on how you hook it up. Loop recording gives you the options of 1, 2, 3, 5, or 10 minutes. So this is depending on how long you want your video files to be for your dash camera. Typically, I choose 3 minutes. I find that seems to be a popular file length for most customers, but the choice is yours depending on what you would like. Audio recording, you can turn on or off right here.
Voice recording disabled. Voice recording enabled.
But there's also a microphone button right here that you can turn off the audio recording on or off. So if there is something where maybe you're on a business call and you're worried about information leaking, you can always hit the button and turn it off, right? Or maybe an incident happens, somebody comes up, maybe starts yelling at you at your car. You could also turn this on or off depending on what you need for your lifestyle. So exposure value. So this is, let's say you have like a rear tinted window and the dash camera may have problems seeing out of it. You can actually go into here and turn it up in order to actually brighten the image quality. So a lot of times when we have like a rear camera mounted on a tinted window, a lot of times we'll change the exposure value to +1, and we find that typically helps with video quality on the rear camera. Now, HDR, we typically leave front camera on. Some people will choose auto, which means it allows you to do an HDR timer setting, and you can select what time it turns on or off. I personally do not like this setting, and I typically leave HDR on. But the main reason why we don't use the HDR auto or timer setting is because it has quite a bit of time that the dash camera will turn off while you're driving. So let's say you have it set to change at 5 o'clock. With the HDR timer setting, it'll actually it'll turn the device off for typically, I think from what we've seen, about 20 seconds. And to me, I don't like being unprotected for 20 seconds while you're driving. So this is typically why we leave HDR on. We find HDR on has more pros than cons. So take the good with the bad. Some people will argue with this, and that's why you have an option to do HDR on, off, or auto. Completely up to you. Choose what's best for your lifestyle. I know for me, we recommend our customers HDR on. Now, they do have the G sensor, and you can select low, or medium, or high. I do not recommend high at all for while driving. You're going to get way too many false alerts or locked videos that you really don't need to have locked. So low or medium are typically good depending on your vehicle. If you find that you have too many videos where it says beep, 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 video protected while you're driving, you're probably going to want to turn it down to low. Okay. The reason why there's an off setting is for you Jeep or off-road owners that want to continuously keep driving off-road with your vehicles. You can turn the G sensor off so it's not going beep, 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 video protected the whole time you're off-road driving. There's now a stamp setting, so you can choose whether you want the date stamp to show up, speed and coordinates to show up in your video file, text stamp, license plate, logo stamp, brand model stamp, HDR stamp, vehicle voltage value if you're using an HK6, and let's say you have a white hood, you could change it to yellow, cyan, golden. You can choose different colors depending on what your vehicle looks like, because obviously you want to be able to see your text, and if you have a white hood and you have white, you're not really going to see it. So there's some nice new upgrades they've added in. Time-lapse recording. A lot of times people thinks that this is for parking mode, but this is actually for while you're driving. So I don't recommend having this on unless you're trying to do some sort of a scenic video. You have interior camera. You can have it on, off, only on while driving, or only on while parking. So there's multiple different options for that. Infrared LED. If you have an interior camera, you can turn auto on or off. And then there's parking recording. So parking mode, well, after you do the update, what I do find happens, which I asked VIOFO to correct on future firmware updates, they haven't acknowledged whether they will or won't, it defaults to low bit rate, and it defaults to be on all the time. Not really a fan of this, because if somebody doesn't recognize this, and let's say they only use it for while driving, it's now going to turn parking mode on night and day, and you could end up having car battery problems depending on your vehicle. So I definitely recommend keeping an eye on this, especially after your firmware update. This is very important. But these are all the different parking modes. You have time lapse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, low bit rate, and auto event detection. If you want to know more about parking mode, we have lots of other videos that will explain that. Image rotate and mirror. So this is basically if you mounted one of your cameras upside down or the wrong way, you can actually change it, mirror view, rotate it so that it is the proper direction. Right? Custom text stamp, if you wanted to add something in like Ben's vehicle, you could add that in. License plate number, I usually only recommend this for fleets. I don't recommend putting it on for your own vehicle, but the choice is yours. Privacy mode. Privacy mode is more for, I believe it's in Europe somewhere, where they're limited to only recording like 1 or 3 minutes constantly. They're not allowed to have like 6 hours or 12 hours of recording time backed up. So that is more of a thing, not a North American thing. So depending where you are in the world will depend on whether or not you use privacy mode. Wi-Fi channel is 5 gigahertz. You can have the choice of 2.4 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz. If you have an older phone, you're going to want 2.4 gigahertz. If you have a newer phone, I would definitely recommend 5 gigahertz because it typically allows you to download videos 3 to 4 times quicker. If you wanted to rename your Wi-Fi name of the device, you can right in there. You can also change your password. There's Bluetooth. If you are using the Bluetooth button, you can change and configure the buttons on it to do different things. Your time zone is here. Time format, you can select 12 or 24-hour formats. Daylight savings, I'm going to want to turn on because, well, if you're in BC, Canada, daylight savings is now permanently on forever. And if I hit time and date, I can sync it with my phone. It'll correct the time directly on the dash camera. Time format, you can change between year, month, day, year, day, month, year. Boot delay, you can have 5 seconds or 10 seconds before the dash camera boots up. You can turn LED status off, on, power LED only while you're driving. And the same thing for parking recording. So if you don't want people to know that your dash camera is on, you can change all those settings there. Notification sounds, you get button beat only, startup sound only, all on or off. Voice notification, I always recommend leaving this on, but some people want it off and don't want to hear their dash camera at all. You can also change the voice notification volume. Voice control, this typically I turn off, but some people may want to use it, and here's a list of all the voice commands that are triggered by it. But personally for me, I find a lot of times music will set it off, falsely quite frequently. And here's your speed units. You can select kilometers an hour or miles per hour. Screensaver, how long the screen stays on, anywhere from 3 seconds to 3 minutes. So the screen will not be on the whole time while you're driving. And depending on where you are in the world will depend on your frequency. If you're North America, you're going to want to select 60 Hertz. Language, like I showed earlier on the initial setup, there's many languages to choose from. And if you wanted to format your memory card, you can select it right there. I don't recommend the format reminder. We have seen in prior firmwares where the format reminder setting falses and goes off at the wrong time. And if you want to view video files, you go into the bottom left corner. And here you have all videos, locked files, parking files, and photos. So if you go into all videos, these are all of the videos that are on here, and you can select between front, and if you had a rear and interior camera on top, it would also show rear and interior. And then you can literally click on it. There's the download button here, and that will download directly to the photos on your phone. If it's an Android device, it could be Google Photos, it could be Gallery, depending on how your Android device is set up. This is your locked files. So this is typically if you hit this magical button right here, the emergency lock button will show up in there, or stuff like speed bumps, potholes, aggressive braking, or car accidents will automatically typically go into the locked file folders. Parking files is anything that's recorded while parked. And all videos is all videos. Very self-explanatory. If you have an A329S at the top here, it will actually show SSD, SD card, and local files. So this is the new app from VIOFO, and just giving you a couple different things that you can do directly with the new VIOFO dash camera app. Thank you for watching our video. If you are looking to support us at all, we are Safe Drive Solutions. We offer professional dash camera installation in Greater Vancouver or Greater Toronto, Canada. We also ship dash cameras all across Canada. Check us out, safedrivesolutions.com. Have a safe drive.